Over $500 million gets wasted on worthless fuel additives every year. And guess what? Mechanics love it. Today, I'm giving you the 13 best fuel additives mechanics don't want you to know. The ones that actually save engines. And if you stick around, I'll also expose the biggest scams on the shelf right now. Junk brands you should avoid like the plague. Let's start with fuel injector cleaners. Number 13. Chevron Techron Concentrate Plus. This one's been saving fuel systems since before some of you were born. If I had $1 for every fuel system this stuff saved, I wouldn't be turning wrenches anymore. Chevron Techron Concentrate Plus isn't just another cleaner. It's the gold standard used by dealerships, recommended by GM, and tested to actually do something. We're talking full system cleaning, injectors, valves, combustion chambers, the whole nine. The secret polyethyramine. That's the chemical that actually breaks down carbon and varnish. Most of the cheap stuff you see doesn't have it. Techron does. And in strong doses. I've had cars come into the shop with misfires, rough idle, and crap mileage. Pour a bottle of this in, run a tank through, and boom. Smooth idle, better throttle response, and cleaner emissions. And no, that's not magic. That's chemistry that works. It also helps MPG and gets rid of hesitation on acceleration. I've seen it clear up codes that were caused by dirty injectors. No parts needed. One of the few additives I actually keep on my shelf. Techron might be the king here in the States, but across the Atlantic, there's a German contender that's been quietly dominating in silence until now. Number 12. Liqui Moly Jectron Fuel Injection Cleaner. If you've got a European engine, this stuff is like espresso for your injectors. Liqui Moly Jectron is the real deal, especially if you're driving anything German. Audi, BMW, Mercedes. This additive was made for them, approved by the TÜV in Germany, and backed by some of the most stringent OEM standards in the industry. This isn't just marketing hype. It's tested, proven, and respected. What does it do? It goes after carbon, like a laser, breaks down buildup inside your injectors and intake system without wrecking your seals or sensors. I've seen it fix high, idle, hesitation, and cold start stumbles in engines that were borderline ready for a teardown. Just one bottle per tank, and things start to smooth out real quick. It also improves throttle response, reduces knocking, and helps with fuel atomization. That means better combustion and more power where it counts. If you got a higher mileage Euro engine and it's running like it just woke up in a bad mood, try this before you pay someone to tear into it. We just went deep with German tech. Now, let's flip the switch. The next one delivers power, MPG, and emission fixes without the lab coat. Number 11, Royal Purple Max Clean. If it's got the Royal Purple name on it, you already know it's built for performance. And Max Clean is no exception. This stuff isn't just a fuel injector cleaner. It's a 3-in-1 powerhouse that cleans, restores, and protects your entire fuel system. We're talking fuel economy gains up to 3.2%, horsepower increases up to 2.6%, and emissions reductions by 12 to 18%. And those aren't made-up numbers. Those came from actual third-party dyno and lab tests, not some backyard YouTuber with a spreadsheet. I've seen this turn sluggish daily drivers into crisp running machines. It cleans injectors, intake valves, and combustion chambers. Plus, it's safe for both gas and diesel engines. You get a smoother idle, quicker throttle, and cleaner tailpipe without having to touch a wrench. It's also stabilized for long-term storage, which makes it great for vehicles that sit for weeks at a time. Hot rods, motorcycles, weekend warriors. This one's for you. So if your engine's lost its edge and you're not ready to tear it apart, Max Clean is worth a shot. But if you think fuel system cleaners are impressive, next we have Octane boosters. Number 7, Power Service Diesel Clean plus Cetane Boost. Cold starts, rough idle, lag. Diesel Clean fixes all three. This stuff's been riding in glove boxes and toolboxes since the early 2000s, and for good reason. Power Service Diesel Clean plus Cetane Boost is a go-to for truckers, fleet mechanics, and anyone who actually works their diesel hard. The magic here is the Cetane bump, up to 6 full points. That means faster, cleaner combustion. Your engine fires quicker, idles smoother, and pulls harder, especially under load. If you've got a sluggish diesel in the winter, or one that bucks under acceleration, this stuff brings it back to life. It also cleans injectors, boosts fuel economy, and adds lubricity, which again is crucial since modern ULSD fuel is as dry as a bone. And don't forget, it helps prevent gelling in cold temps. That means fewer no-start mornings and less white smoke. I've seen this stuff smooth out 7.3 power strokes, clean up Duramax smoke trails, and even bring some old 5.9 Cummins motors back from the brink. It's dependable, affordable, and easy to find at any truck stop across the country. But now, it's time to talk about a hidden killer: water in your fuel system. That brings us to the category of additives, water removers, and stabilizers. Number 6. StarTron Enzyme Fuel Treatment. This ain't just a stabilizer, it's fuel rehab. StarTron isn't some watered-down gimmick you toss in the tank and hope for the best. This stuff uses enzymes, not alcohol, to break apart water molecules, clean up phase-separated fuel, and restore bad gas back to life. If you're dealing with ethanol-laced fuel, and let's be honest, most of us are, this is your first line of defense. Ethanol absorbs water from the air, and over time, it causes phase separation, which means your fuel literally splits into gas and sludge. Not good. StarTron stops that from happening. It prevents corrosion, cleans injectors, and stabilizes your fuel for up to 2 years. That's why it's trusted in marine engines, RV tanks, and seasonal equipment. Stuff that sits for months at a time and needs to fire up on the first crank. I've used it in everything from outboard motors, to snowblowers, to older fuel-injected cars. It just works. Keeps the tank clean and the system happy. No more stale gas smell, no more hesitation. StarTron keeps things fresh for the long haul. But if you've ever fought with a frozen fuel line in the dead of winter, this next little bottle is your best friend. Number 5. STP Water Remover and Fuel Line Antifreeze. Every mechanic's cheap trick in winter? This right here. This little bottle has been saving cold starts and frozen fuel lines for decades. STP Water Remover and Fuel Line Antifreeze is old school, but don't let that fool you. It still works like a charm, especially if you've got an older car or live where winter hits hard. It's dirt cheap, easy to find, and ridiculously effective. Just pour it into your tank before a freeze, and it helps pull moisture out of the fuel system before it turns into ice. That means no frozen lines. No rough starts, no sitting in the driveway cranking until your battery dies. I've used this stuff on beaters, carbureted engines, lawnmowers, you name it. When a customer comes in complaining that their car won't start after a cold night, 9 times out of 10, it's moisture in the lines, and this fixes it for under $5. It also helps prevent rust in steel tanks and keeps injectors from pitting due to water contamination. No gimmicks, no hype, just a simple fix that works. All right, enough warm-ups. Let's get into the heavy hitters now. Combustion and friction enhancers. Number 4, BG44. K Fuel System Cleaner. The dealership uses this, but they'll charge you triple. Let me tell you a little secret. When a customer brings in a car with rough idle, poor throttle response, or hesitation under load, dealerships love to run a bottle of BG44K through the tank and charge them for a fuel system service. What they don't tell you is they're just using this one can. That's how powerful it is. BG44K is hands down one of the most aggressive fuel system cleaners you can buy without a license. It's loaded with high concentration PEA, the same ingredient that makes Techron great, but with more punch. It cuts through intake valve deposits, carbon buildup, and combustion chamber gunk, like a hot knife through butter. I've seen it bring dead misfiring engines back to life without even popping the hood. Seriously, cars with clogged injectors or fouled valves that were barely idling came back smooth and strong after one tank with this stuff. It's not cheap, but it works. And if you drive direct injection, you should be using it every 10,000 miles minimum. After BG44K's full-force carbon assault, you might think there's nothing better. But wait till you meet this low-key legend that punches way above its weight. Number 3. LubeGuard Fuel System Booster. This one boosts power, fuel economy, and lubrication, all in one bottle. Nobody talks about this one, and that's a damn shame. LubeGuard Fuel System Booster is one of the most underrated additives out there. It doesn't just clean your fuel system, it improves the way your fuel burns. Unlike most cleaners, this stuff is EPA, registered, and OEM approved. It works on both gasoline and ethanol blends and has real-world results. Better throttle response, lower emissions, and even quieter combustion. I've had customers swear their engines felt smoother after just one tank. And honestly, I've seen the difference myself. What really sets it apart is the fuel lubrication. Modern fuels, especially ethanol blends, are bone dry. LubeGuard helps protect your injectors, fuel pump, and upper cylinder walls from wear by putting the slick back into the system. It also helps reduce knocking and pinging on older engines and keeps carbon from building up in the first place. This isn't flashy, and it doesn't come in a fancy can, but it works. And if you're running older equipment or just want to keep your system sharp, it's a smart move. But now we're heading into the deep end. Number 2. K&N Performance Plus Fuel System Cleaner. Most folks know K&N for air filters, but their Performance Plus Fuel System Cleaner. It's a hidden gem. This stuff was made for fuel systems that are already in trouble. I'm talking clogged injectors, rough idle, and hard starts. Not the kind of thing regular cleaners fix. The formula is strong. It's packed with high levels of PEA, the same chemical in top-tier cleaners like Techron and BG44K. But K&N adds its own friction modifiers and anti-corrosion agents to protect while it cleans. Poor throttle response, long crank starts, misfire codes, one tank with K&N, and everything's smoothed out. You could feel the difference.
What it does best? It clears out carbon from the injectors, combustion chamber, and intake valves. It also helps with better fuel burn, so you get more power and better mileage. If you've got an engine with over 75,000 miles, or one that's sat too long with old fuel, try this before paying a shop to tear it down. It's simple, it's strong, and it's backed by a name that knows engines. Number 1. Seafoam Motor Treatment. This is the Swiss Army knife of fuel additives. If there's one can every real mechanic keeps on the shelf, it's Seafoam. And not because it's trendy, but because it works. It's been around since 1942, and it's still one of the most trusted, most used, and most versatile additives ever made. Seafoam isn't just a fuel system cleaner. It works in fuel, oil, and even intake systems. I've used it to clean dirty injectors, clear out carbon-packed pistons, quiet noisy lifters, and even revive old mowers and two-strokes that haven't run in years. You can pour it in your gas tank to clean the fuel system, add it to your crankcase to break up sludge.